Look how bulbous that bottom is. That is perfect. Perfect Boletus Edulis specimen. Oh my goodness, that's a fun one. I see some more right down here. Look at those. This particular area, yeah, the Sarcodon imbricatus absolutely love this area. Came upon some more amanitas, and just over here to the side, look what's growing right here. Boletus Edulis. And look at that. There was one there and it got chomped off. And there's another one right here. Look at that. There's another one that's just a button growing out of the ground. And then there's a lot of little mushrooms on this mound. This here looks like it could be an amanita. Yeah, I think that's an amanita. I didn't dig for the vulva, but you can see that there's a vulva right there on that thing. So this is an interesting little spot. You got a Rosola right there. You got a Rosola right over here. Interesting little spot. Really a mushroomy spot. Oh, and look over here on this other side. I didn't even point the other direction. You got a couple Boletus Edulis growing right there. And you got one growing right there. Welcome to Utah Mushroom Hunter, to another one of our episodes. So we're up in the Wasatch Mountains. We're at about close to 9,000 feet in elevation, and I have a good friend of mine, Vincent, here with me. He's gonna be hunting mushrooms with me. Are you excited about this?
I am.
All right. So he got up here just a little bit before me, and so we're gonna take a look at some of the mushrooms he's already found. Go ahead and show us what you found.
My first ever.
Those are your first Boletus Edulis ever?
That's right.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, those are young Boletus Edulis. We've had so much moisture that these are just popping out of the ground. And the funny thing is, I was following Vincent, and he had a mushroom he wanted to show me, and he nearly stepped on this one right here. Look at that right there. That's a beautiful Boletus Edulis. And Vincent, you want to go ahead and pull that out?
Sure.
We're just going to watch him as he pulls this thing out.
Wow.
Look at that stalk on that thing. Oh my gosh.
It is huge.
That thing, the stalk on that is so fat. That's going to be an awesome one.
Thank you.
And then there's another one that you already pulled out right here. You want to show this one that you found?
Sure. I had no clue what this thing was.
So that is an amanita. You can see this huge, massive vulva there at the bottom. It's still together. If he hadn't pulled this out and it continued to grow, this thing would pop up and it'd turn into have a mushroom top, and it'd probably end up being mostly white with a little bit of yellow in it. But you can see how all this top here is going to turn into the specks along the top. But that is 100% an amanita. I would say it's likely an amanita muscaria. Kind of young, could be an amanita pantherina, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be a muscaria variety. But anyway, it's still a cool mushroom. We're not going to keep and eat that one. We're going to eat that. We don't eat amanitas, at least I don't. And I certainly don't recommend that you do, because there's a lot of mushrooms that can be very dangerous in the amanita family. All right, and now Vincent says he's got another one he's going to show me.
These are just a couple little tiny ones. I think they were under this. Holy shit. No, it wasn't that one. You know what? I probably couldn't go right back to it. It's one of these pine trees.
Oh, and here's where he found that Amanita muscaria. You can see there's a couple more that are popping out right here. So if I came back in 4 or 5 days, these things will be much bigger. We probably will find more of these today. I think today is going to be an epic day because of how many mushrooms how much rain we've been getting. See how interesting that is? Just babies, just barely coming out of the ground. All right, so we've already seen a lot of king mushrooms. Look at this one right here. There's a Boletus Edulis. That one is gorgeous, gorgeous. Beautiful specimen. Got one over here. That's a young one, smaller. But they are popping. And just a moment ago, we had found an area where we saw 6 or 7 that were just popping out of the ground. Look at that. That looks like it's probably another popping out of the ground. Let's see if there's any more right around here. Oh my goodness. Look at them. There's a Boletus Edulis right there. And there's something else. That's not an eater. There's a Boletus Edulis right there. And we are just off the road. Oh my gosh. So it's like, what's that, 5 we found right in this spot right here. Let's see what else we find. Look how massive that mushroom is. Vincent's cleaning it up, getting the dirt off of it. But look how big that stalk is. It's just massive.
Yeah.
You would have never known it was that big by looking at the top.
Yeah, I couldn't grab it up without my knife. I was going to rake the top off.
It's going to make a yummy meal.
Okay.
There are some small puffballs right here. So when Vincent just found these, let's see if I can get this to focus. But this is the bird nest fungi. I can't remember the scientific name for it, but you can see there that it's got the little round things in the center like a bird's nest. He says there's a whole bunch of them up there where he was looking. Okay, look how many mushrooms are just in this little area right here, and I can see a few Boletus Edulis as well. Yeah. I'm going to come up to this one first. I think it's a Boletus. Oh, maybe this isn't a Boletus Edulis. No, that one is not a Boletus Edulis. It's got the gills underneath. Do not eat that one. Okay, so this one looks like a Boletus Edulis, but I'm not sure anymore. Let's look. Nope, that one's got the gills too. See how important it is to inspect it closely. When I came around this corner, I thought these were going to be Boletus Edulis because it's got those, I mean, the top looks exactly like the ones we've already found. You flip it over and you see those gills. So not a Boletus Edulis, leave that alone, do not eat it. We're finding a lot of these Rosolas. Look how red that cap is. That is another Rosola. Leave that alone. Look at this, we found some more Sarcodon imbricatus. This is our first Sarcodon imbricatus of the day. Some people call it the hedgehog. And, you know, decent size. These might be a little bit on the older side. Okay, so we're back to the spot I found the Sarcodon imbricatus about a week ago in the last video I made. And this is the exact location we found it. And look at that. Since I was here, we've had a whole bunch more just pop out of the ground. Look at that. There's even some over here. This area is just popping with these Sarcodon imbricatus now. And look at that. He's got some in his hand as well. These are gorgeous. And these are young. I mean, they weren't here when I was here about a week ago, maybe 10 days ago. So these are all brand new. I see some more right down here. Look at those. This particular area, yeah, the Sarcodon imbricatus absolutely love this area. Again, just to remind you guys, the Sarcodon imbricatus, you can see these black scales on the top. Yeah, some people call it like a hedgehog or pheasant back or something. Well, a hedgehog I think is what they call this. A lot of people use it as a common name because of the way that looks. But look at underneath again. This is the other way you can tell. There's no gills, there's no pores. Those are small teeth that grow underneath. That's one of the ways you can tell it's a Sarcodon imbricatus. I'm just going to clean this up here just a little bit. Boy, look at that. Worms have already gotten in there quite a bit, even though this is a young mushroom.
Oh, I guess that one's wormy too, man.
Yeah, it could be. Gorgeous mushroom. So if I come back here in like 3 or 4 days, there's going to be more of them popping as well. This place is super productive right now because of all this rain. Fun mushrooms. Okay, so oh, look at that. That one has already been eaten up by worms. Again, I'm not super comfortable with that color. I mean, those are probably going to be okay. That one has too much worms in it, but this one I think I'm going to bring home. I'm going to do a little more research, see if I can figure out what this is without the pink gills. That one may be an edible. It's a little bit questionable, but my guess is that's going to be a choice edible agaric. It doesn't quite look right to me, but I still think it's going to be edible. I'll do some research on that. So look at these great big massive mushrooms right here. The top looks like it absolutely should be a Boletus Edulis, but it's not. Look at that. But that is massive. That is such a big, beautiful mushroom. Those are going to be the same. I just came across this beauty. Look at that guy. Look how bulbous that bottom is. That is perfect. Perfect Boletus Edulis specimen. Oh my goodness, that's a fun one. Look at that. Gorgeous. Okay, so we're coming up this little ravine here. You can see this little wash. Came upon some more amanitas. I think we're just going to leave them right there. And if those grow up, those will be super interesting and probably a really pretty mushroom. But again, one you do not want to eat. And just over here to the side, look what's grown right here. Boletus Edulis. And look at that. There was one there and it got chomped off. And there's another one right here. Look at that. There's another one that's just a button growing out of the ground. And then there's a lot of little mushrooms on this mound. This here looks like it could be an amanita. Yeah, I think that's an amanita. I didn't dig for the vulva, but you can see that there's a vulva right there on that thing. So this is an interesting little spot. You got a Rosola right there. You got a Rosola right over here. Interesting little spot. Really a mushroomy spot. Oh, and look over here on this other side. I didn't even point the other direction. You got a couple Boletus Edulis growing right there. And you got one growing right there. If I leave those and come back, those will grow into beautiful mushrooms. Look at that. There's another one right here. They are just popping everywhere. Oh my gosh. Just in this little spot here. How many is that? That's like 6 or 8 Boletus Edulis in this one little spot. Got, count them. 1, 2. I'm probably missing some behind me. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 that I've counted right here in this spot. And I bet if I keep looking, I'll find more. And then that doesn't even count the other varieties of mushrooms. This is a fun little spot here. See, you got some Rosolas right there too. All right, so count is at 7. I'm not seeing any more right now. I'm going to take this one right here, but we're going to leave all of these other Boletus Edulis for one of you guys to come up and find. They're right next to the road. The road is just right up there. You can see that car driving by. Now you know where to come get Boletus Edulis. I can't give you an exact location, unfortunately, but if you get out here looking, you're going to find this spots like this. There are so many Boletus Edulis to find right now. There's just buttons all over the place. So there's the largest of the mushrooms, the Boletus Edulis in this spot. See, it's just perfect. It's going to be yummy. But again, we're just going to leave them there and let those grow up. There's another fun little mushroom spot. A lot of puffballs, just small puffballs, and these are edible. I won't take them, but the puffballs are edible. A lot of people like that. See, there's some young ones right there. Come around here. There's a bunch of puffballs right here as well.
Oh wow, here's an old one that has the spores coming out.
Okay.
Give it a nudge and it comes shooting out the top.
I'll come over. See, there's some more puffballs over there. This little spot right here is just filled with puffballs. Let's go see what Vincent found. Okay, where's it at? Oh, the old one right there, yeah.
Just give it a little nudge.
Yeah, it's crazy how those spores will just come right out when they get a little bit older. I can see something coming up from right over there too.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was.
Almost looks like, I mean, it's coming up like a Boletus Edulis. Let's see what it is though. Oh, I think that's going to be one of those that has the gills on it. Yeah, not going to be what we want. Yeah, see that? Still though, so many mushrooms. You can see puffballs back over there too. Okay, so here's an interesting one. See what this one is. Oh, another Boletus Edulis. I think those are Rosolas. I did take a peek of those. Yeah, those look like Rosolas. But we did find this nice Boletus Edulis. Okay, here's another one that Vincent found.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, anyway, it's a small one, but it's going to be super delicious. And you can see someone stepped on one right there. There's another Boletus Edulis right there. King mushroom, just a button again. So I'll leave that one. All right, we're high elevation right now. Found some oysters. Those are all oysters. Not a ton of them, but definitely oysters. Used to be one there and got munched off by a critter. If I look up this log, looks like they're popping out here and there. See, there's some right there growing too, and right over there. And look over here. Oh, that, I don't think that's an oyster there, but these are oysters, and those are oysters. There's some more puffballs. There are so many puffballs up here today. I'm not picking any of the puffballs, but there's a lot. Okay, here's some coral mushroom. Look at that one right there. You got some popping up over here. And there's some there. There's some here. There's some coral there. And there's some there. And along with these Rosolas. I mean, these are super pretty Rosolas. Like, look how red that cap is. Definitely Rosola, and I don't eat those. And I don't eat this coral either, just because there's a lot of variety of coral that'll really cause you some tummy aches. And they're not a choice edible, so I leave them. Okay, so here's a different mushroom. Look at this big yellow thing. From the top, it kind of looks like it could be one of those amanitas. But let me pull this thing out. Look at that. I'll have to confirm when I get down below, but that to me looks like it is Philiota squarosus. I think that's what that is. I might take that with me just to further identify it. So this is one that, like, I know Don Johnson had said that this is one that he enjoys eating. Just had to smell it. You know, he says they taste kind of garlicky when he eats them. And if you look up information about it, all the information out there says that you shouldn't eat it. But there's some people who eat this successfully and they just love it. And me myself, I decided not to eat this mushroom. It was a year or two ago that there was somebody who had tried to eat one of these, and it made them just like super vomity and sick, just horrible, horrible. So I don't recommend you eat this mushroom, but I believe that is a Philiota squarosa, which is a fun mushroom. Yeah, see that? There's another one, a young one. Yeah, that's a Philiota squarosus. All right, so I just found this one. This is interesting. It almost looks like it was found by somebody already. Look at that. Somebody already found it. And they left it. And look at that. It's in good condition. I don't know why they left that. That's a great Boletus Edulis. Nothing wrong with that at all. There's another Boletus Edulis. Nice. There's what that Boletus Edulis looks like that I just found. Perfect little guy. Here's a couple more button Boletus Edulis king mushrooms. There's one right there, and there's also one right over there. See that? Delicious mushroom. There's a couple more. Super fun. There's another one. Boletus Edulis. All of them are buttons. There's so many young ones. Okay, so look at this big mushroom that we just found. The thing's huge. That's got to be 10 inches across. Oh my gosh. It's a massive Ursola. That thing is massive. Holy cow. Yeah, that massive Ursola. A white one. We've been seeing a ton of red ones up here, but this one's like almost white. I was hoping it was going to be an agaric, but definitely not. There's one that Vincent just found. Look at his bag's getting pretty dang full of them. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And look at this. We just found another one right here as well. Another Boletus Edulis. And there's another one. Vincent is still cleaning up that one we just found. And here's another one right here. And there's another one popping right here. They're all over the place. This is so stinking fun. And those two turned out gorgeous. There's another one. We just keep finding them. Look how gorgeous that is. They're so pretty. Beautiful little Boletus Edulis. All right, so look at this little pocket of Swillis. All right, see, notice how red, a little bit of red on top. You flip that over and look at that yellow underneath. So you got that honeycomb yellow to it. And that's the trademark of a Swillis. And I believe this is a Swillis lakei, L-A-K-E-I. I believe that's what this is. And it's an edible. You can eat that. But not one of my favorites, so I'll leave those there. Fun mushroom, though. All right, found another honey hole right next to the road. There's these people here that are probably all mushroom hunting, and they went down the other way. They should have come up here, because look at that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right there, it's still coming out.
Right there.
8, 9. There's one right here. 10. 11. Are there more? Probably.
Probably.
Maybe there's 11 in this little spot right here. Holy heck. That is crazy. Well, that's what they look like. You can see they're definitely Boletus Edulis. They're just buttons coming up, pushed up from the rain from this last week. You know, there's a bunch of them here. Nice little Boletus Edulis, huh?
Beautiful.
You ever found this many Boletus Edulis in your life?
I've never found him before today.
Isn't this fun?
This is great.
Okay, I think we're going to call it a day. Another super successful mushroom hunting trip. We found so many different kinds of mushrooms. Gazillions of mushrooms. Vincent, how many Boletus Edulis do you think you found today?
In my bag, we found more than we actually picked.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe 30? I didn't count.
Oh, you know what? In this last spot all by itself, we found 11 of them. I wouldn't be surprised if we found 50 or 60, 70 Boletus Edulis today, because there were a lot of small ones too that we just passed up and left there. But we found a ton of them, and we found the Sarcodon imbricatus, which was super fun. We actually ran into another mushroom hunter that was just looking for those specifically. So we ended up going ahead and just letting him have a bunch of those. So he was super stoked about those. And this area that we're hunting, there's quite a few people up here hunting mushrooms today. The word's getting out. Everyone understands this is the time to get out, and it is. And this area that we're in, it's probably pretty heavily picked over, and yet we came up here and still just found a whole bunch of them. And it's because there's more popping up every day. And the thing is a lot of these Boletus Edulis buttons, you about have to step on them to see them. And and there's so much area in the mountains to look that if you get up above 8,000 feet, maybe even closer to 9,000 feet, you're going to find some good mushrooms right now. So I encourage you to get out and look for mushrooms, enjoy the outdoors. It's what we do. I mean, we absolutely love the outdoors, and it was such a fun mushroom hunt with Vincent today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you know, I am making more of an effort trying to get out on mushroom hunts with some of my subscribers. So send me a message if you're interested in going on one of my hunts. Thank you.
Hit like and subscribe.
Yes, hit like and subscribe. I would appreciate that. Yeah, the more you can help and support and grow my channel, I'd appreciate that. Thank you so much. And we'll
gotta say hi to my wife.
Oh, go ahead. Say hi to your wife.
Hi, Michelle. I love you.
Thank you so much. And Michelle, thank you so much for letting him come and hunt with
awesome.
me today. And we will see you in the next episode.